So you say you want deep love, but the second someone texts back, "I miss you," you get heartburn. Consider ghosting and start Googling whether you're a lone wolf destined to die alone on a mountaintop. Yeah, this one is for you. If love makes your chest tight, compliments make you suspicious, and consistency feels, let's say, boring, you might not have commitment issues. You might just have a nervous system that thinks love is a threat. Let's be real. If you've ever met someone emotionally available and your first thought was, "What the hell is wrong with this person?" buckle up. This episode's not here to call you out. It's here to call you in. Welcome to the Wolverine Lifestyle Podcast, where personal growth meets deep thought and introspection. I am your host, Dylan Andres, and in this episode, we are diving into why love might feel, let's say, unsafe to your nervous system, and more importantly, what the hell you can do about it. You see, we talk a lot about compatibility, red flags, love languages, and sure, those matter, but what if it's not who you keep choosing that's the problem, but the pattern your body keeps repeating? Have you ever been with someone genuinely good for you, kind, consistent, emotionally available, and instead of leaning into it, you find yourself shutting down? You question everything, you get irritated, you find reasons to pull away. If that hit a nerve, today's episode might feel a little bit like truth serum, because here's the reality. You might not have commitment issues. You might just have a nervous system that doesn't feel safe with love. And you're not broken, you're protecting yourself. So let's break this down. Your nervous system's job isn't to help you find love. It's to keep you alive. Through neuroception, it's a big word, neuroception, your brain and body are constantly scanning for signs of safety or threat, even when you're unaware of it. According to Dr. Stephen Porges and the polyvagal theory, your nervous system cycles through different states. The first one, social engagement, which is being connected and grounded. The second one is fight or flight, which is alert, anxious, and defensive. And the third one is shutdown, freeze, to be numb or withdrawn. So even when love looks safe, your body might still sound the alarm based on a past experience. You meet someone wonderful, but instead of relaxing, your chest tightens, you get restless, or you go numb. That's not just anxiety. That's your nervous system saying, hey, last time we let someone in, we got hurt, and let's not do that again. It's not self-sabotage, it's survival. And here's the thing. You don't think your way out of that response. You've got to feel your way through it. Why does this happen? Because if you grew up in a home where love was unpredictable, where expressing emotion got you shut down or shamed, where affection had to be earned, then your nervous system learned that connection equals danger. Even if your childhood was pretty good, it's those micro moments that add up. A parent going cold when you needed their comfort. Being told to toughen up when you cried. Feeling loved only when you succeeded. Your nervous system doesn't care how logical your adult brain is. It cares about patterns, and it remembers exactly what it had to do to stay safe. So when someone shows up with warmth, acceptance, and consistency, and you flinch, that's not weakness, That's protection that hasn't been updated. Our operating software needs a refresh and a reboot. You learn to emotionally duck even before someone else had to raise a hand. Let's zoom in on the high performers, the overthinkers, the high achievers. You can pitch in a boardroom, lead a team, crush deadlines. But when your partner asks, "What's really going on with you lately?" You know the feeling. You freeze up. Because success gives you certainty, but vulnerability still feels like exposure. You learned to earn your value. So someone offering love freely to you, that doesn't feel sweet. It feels suspicious. So you start pulling back and you believe, I need more space. They're too into me, or I'm not sure they're the one. But what's underneath that? Your nervous system is whispering, we don't trust this yet. For many of us, fear isn't rejection, it's being seen and loved anyways. Because then the old story that we tell ourselves to protect ourselves no longer serves us. So here's the truth. Even the healthiest relationship can't outlove an unregulated nervous system. You can have the most emotionally attuned partner on the planet, but if your body doesn't feel safe, you'll still shut down. So, how do we change that? It's not about never being triggered. It's about knowing how to regulate when you are. And listen, this isn't just theory. This is my lived experience. I used to think all women were the same. Warm at first, distant later. I'd meet someone, feel that lovely spark, and then start fading out of my own life. The gym, skipped it. Plans with friends, canceled. My guitar became the dust collector ornament. I gave up what made me feel alive, hoping it would somehow keep their interest. And spoiler alert, it didn't. Instead, I lost myself and the relationship. And when it did end, I didn't just grieve the breakup. I grieved the version of me I kept betraying to be loved. So what finally helped? Confronting those fears head on. Meditation, cold therapy, breath work, stillness, nature, movement, journaling, overall nervous system repair. Over and over and over again, I revisited the pain with presence until my body started learning, we're safe now. One of my clients lived this too. He came to me after a divorce that left him drained, always criticized, never enough. He met someone new, emotionally available, kind, and at first it felt electric, but soon he started overgiving, self-abandoning, shrinking. Not because she asked him to, but because his nervous system remembered love means overextending. Love means disappearing just enough to be accepted. Eventually, she pulled back, and of course, he panicked. But through our work together, we traced that pattern back to childhood, to moments where love was conditional and safety meant compliance. We rewired that belief. He rebuilt his routines, went back to the gym, picked up new hobbies, reclaimed his space. And most importantly, stopped texting from panic and started living from presence. And you want to know the wild thing? The more he stopped chasing, the more she came back toward him. Why? Because neediness wasn't who he was. It was a wounded part of him screaming to not be abandoned again. Here's what changed everything for him, and for me, because I went through the same thing. We stopped focusing on fixing the relationship and started focusing on feeling safe in our own skin. This is what I coach through, not just how to set boundaries, but how to feel safe holding them. Not just how to communicate, but how to feel safe being heard. Not just how to attract love, but how to receive it without flinching. So, if you've made it this far, you might be asking, okay, this sounds great and all, but how do I actually start regulating my nervous system? Well, here's what worked for us. Not all at once, of course, but with consistency. The gym. Not just for strength, but for presence, for power. Cold therapy. This was my nervous system's hard reset button. Meditation. Not to escape thoughts, but to befriend them. Stillness. No input, no noise, just being. Journaling. Not the filtered gratitude, just raw reflection. Nature. This one is nervous system gold. Walks, breeze, bird chirping, the whole thing. Inner child work. Speaking safely into old wounds and self-validating those experiences. And working on the inner voice dialogue. Making space for the parts of us that wanted to run. It's not about doing all of it every day. It's about having these tools in your back pocket for when you need them and using some of them every day, because life's chaotic. Emotions rise, shit hits the fan, but that doesn't mean you have to fall apart. So here's the shift, or the mental reframe. Discomfort doesn't mean danger. A trigger doesn't mean trauma is repeating. It just means something inside of us wants attention. Like the check engine lights on your emotional dashboard. And when you stop resisting that signal, you start regaining your power. Emotions aren't the enemy, they're the map. We only appreciate peace because we've walked through and experienced chaos. You were never meant to climb that mountain just to die alone at the top. You were meant to find safety and come down from it. So here's what most people won't tell you. Healing your relationship with love doesn't mean becoming perfectly healed. It means becoming safe enough to stay present, even when it feels scary. You don't need to fix everything. You don't need to fix every part of yourself before you're worthy of love. You just need to stop disappearing when it gets close. And if trusting yourself feels hard right now, that makes sense, especially if you've spent years silencing your needs or outsourcing your worth. But you can rebuild that trust, not through force, but through daily check-ins. To help you with that, I created a simple free tool, the Daily Self-Trust Check-In, a guided practice to reconnect with your needs, emotions, and nervous system in 5 to 10 minutes a day. You will find that bad boy linked in the show notes below. If this episode hit home for you, grab it, use it. Let it be the simple, small step that builds your foundation back. Because love shouldn't feel like a risk. It should feel like a return to yourself. As always, thank you for joining me for this episode of the Wolverine Lifestyle Podcast. If it spoke with you, share it with someone who needs the reminder that love doesn't have to feel like walking on eggshells, and that coming home to yourself is the first step to letting someone else truly meet you there. Subscribe, leave a review. Let's spread the kind of love that starts within. Until next time, remember, you don't have to lose yourself to be loved. The real ones will meet you in your wholeness, not your performance.